Welcome to my Round the World in a Day extravaganza. This is the beginning of the review. Before we review any songs, I just want to talk about this package and this cover. I want to give you guys what I consider my interpretations of this cover, so just bear with me. So, first of all, this record set, I bought it in 2013. I bought it off my friend, the Purple Poetess in Australia. So what we know is it's an Australian edition. It's made by ATWIAD. And it dates from 1985. It's an original, one of the original 3 million albums sold back then, and like I showed you in my last video, just want to show you what the actual vinyl record looks like. As you can see, we've got the beautiful colourful paisley pattern. Every song has got the words in a different colour on side 1. And then turning it over, this is what side 2 looks like. Again, this looks very similar to the design of the B-sides. And again to the A-side. So this is what your record looks like. Basically, you've got pretty much the first 5 songs on side 1, and then you've got the other 4 songs on side 2, basically ranging from America, which is the shortened version, not the long version you got on the 12-inch single I showed you last time. So that is what the album looks like. Now, this cover, which was composed by Doug Henders, I just cannot get over how brilliant it is, and I think from some of the books I've read, I've been looking at it really intently and trying to work out what some of the stuff means. So first of all, if those of you notice, the silhouette in the background looks a lot like a reclining woman's body, as you can see. Okay, apologies if you notice stuff, but there's clearly her, whatty. That's her waist. That's basically her legs arcing up there, and that's her kneecap. Now, let's talk about the symbology of this. Okay, first we've got the child holding the balloon. Now, this is this childlike innocence Prince sings about in songs like Paisley Park. Look at the children playing for seesaws of fun. And there's the happy white child there, and then there's the sad black child waving the flag here, basically. So again, this racial dichotomy he was into at the time. Now, you probably recognize all these images here. You've got like the weeping lady from Pop Life. You've got Raspberry Beret, the girl holding the can, and she's wearing the raspberry beret. And this is from the Paisley Park. Look at the people on the seesaw looking for fun. Paisley Park is in us all. We've got the clown who's juggling 2 balls in the globe, as you can see. Long before Prince started talking about it, you've got the jet and the chemtrails here. Did anyone notice that? You've got the clouds, which appear also in the Raspberry Beret video. But what I love about this is these images here of Woe's music. This is clearly, obviously, the old man crying by the wharf, again, which probably loops into Condition of the Heart and also the ladder. Again, the ladder is a big part. Prince resigned from Purple Rain to climb the ladder, as you can see, which goes straight up to heaven. Where Prince talks to God in the song Temptation. Where he goes, "That's not how it's done, man. You must want it for the right reasons." I do. You don't. Now die. And when God kills someone, usually you expect that to be instantaneous, but Prince is like, no! And then finally he doesn't die, he just says, "I promise I'll be good from now, I swear." So Prince has obviously gone up the ladder and come down. Now the flowers, I could be wrong here. This is a throwback to Purple Rain. The song When Doves Cry. An ocean of violets in bloom. Animals strike curious poses. Well, there's no animals striking curious poses here, but we have a lot of doves flying around. We've got the 3 purple muses here. I don't know if they're temptation, they're good or they're bad, but they're wearing purple and they're covered in doves, and they kind of look like what Prince would look like if he was in drag. We've got the temptress here. This possibly is darling Nikki here. Now, Prince talked about this is the old lustful Prince of the Dirty Mind in 1999. This is the old bad Prince he was trying to reject. And a lot of conspiracy theorists summarize, that Prince died in a motorcycle accident in 1984, and this Prince was killed off. And this is the new Prince, the virtuous Christopher Tracy character, which you see running through the Around the World in a Day. This is the Prince who's found the ladder. He's got past temptation. So this is old Prince. This is new Prince, basically. And of course, you also see this Prince character in the Raspberry Beret video. He's wearing the cloud suit, and he's somehow mysteriously turned into a white man with blonde hair, even though Prince is clearly African American. Now, I can't work out the mime-looking dude holding the tambourine. I'm trying to think maybe it was one of his wider band members like Matt. Matt's already there. But what I have worked out, it could be possibly a mix-up of St. Paul and Susanna. But if you look closely at the eyes, notice something about that eye. Now, I'll give you a couple of seconds to pick up on it. Where have you seen that eye before? I'll give you a clue. Go back to the previous year. That's clearly the eyes from the female face you see in the When Doves Cry video. And the part when Prince is in his boudoir down in the Purple Rain movie brings Apollonia down, and there's that poster staring back at him. And the part where the father's going, "Don't anybody be quiet in this house!" And you hear him smacked, and you see like Prince's weird-ass, woman poster here. So that explains that basically. And this woman playing the violin here, this could possibly be Novi Novog playing her violin. And probably just one other thing I want to talk about before we really get into these songs is that Paisley Park, basically starting from this point onwards, Prince liked the concept of Paisley Park so much, which was a place that sits in your mind where there's not too many rules. And basically every Prince album from this one onwards, including all his new artists like, The Family and everyone else, had their stuff released under the label Paisley Park. So starting with this album onwards, you will see this Paisley Park logo on all the records. So tell you, I mean, you look at any album up to Purple Rain, it just says Warner Brothers basically. But starting with this one, you'll see Paisley Park, except for Batman, because Batman had all these copyrights and other crap attached to it. But all of the stuff, this is the beginning of the Paisley Park craze. Okay, so that's enough rapid record raving, and now we're going to review some songs.